Hey everyone, my name is Ryan, and I wanted to provide you with another lesson to coincide with my ebook, Beginner Improvisation for Bass Players. Now, if you don't have it, head over to my website, ryanmedora.com. You can download it for free. Just go to the free ebook page, and it's right there. There are also backing tracks available, so just head over to my site. You'll find lots of cool stuff over there, and in the meantime, let's get started. So today we're going to talk about my favorite move in a chord progression, going from our 1 chord to our 6 chord. Now, what this means is that in the world of diatonic harmony, we have a chord progression, and we're going to talk about how we can use notes in the scale, notes in the chords, and other fun things to help build bass lines and improvise. This is all about figuring out what you can do to play an interesting bass line and to move away from just being stuck at that root note. Now, for a 1 to 6 chord, the great thing about it is this is a really common way to start a lot of chord progressions. So if you've ever heard of the 4-chord song or something that goes 1 6 2 5 or 1 6 5 4, all of those chords and all those songs start with a 1 to a 6. So the moves that you learn here are going to be applicable to this song and the backing track for this, but also to a lot of chord progressions and a lot of songs that you may just learn how to play, everything from like Tom Petty tunes to tunes by the Drifters. Lots of classic R&B and doo-wop use this particular move, so it's going to be super useful. So the first thing we want to do is find our bearings. We're in the key of A. I'm going to find my A here on the 5th fret, and I'm going to find my 6th chord. So we want to go our root note, we want to figure out our major scale, go up to the 6th scale degree, which is going to be an F sharp. So the move that we're going to be making is going like this. 1, our A, to the 6th chord, which is this F sharp. Now, based upon the rules of diatonic harmony, the 6th chord is going to be minor. So that's what we're going to think about when we are crafting our bass lines. But until we do that, we want to figure out other places where we can play this F sharp. Because the cool thing about playing this in the key of A is when we move from our 1 to our 6, we have a lot of options for where we can play this F sharp. We can play it here, where we just found it by going up the scale. Or we can decide to play it the same note in a different place. Here's that same F sharp, just in a different place on the neck. Then we can say, well, maybe we can go down and we can find the F sharp here. So if you've never found your F sharp on the 2nd fret of your E string, do it to it, go there. That's a great place to find this F sharp. It's going low, and that's what we love to do as bass players. So once you get comfortable playing this rhythmic framework, finding all of your A to F sharps, then you can start to integrate chord tones to create our bass line. So the first thing we want to do is take our 3rd, figure out how to integrate that. So I'm going to use my 3rd of the chord. So here we are at an A. Our major 3rd is going to be the C sharp here, and that is going to be the tone that's going to kind of lead us into the next chord. So it'll sound like this. You're like, wow, that sounds pretty cool. It sounds really great. It's kind of the perfect way to lead into this chord. And what's great about this particular progression, the 1 to 6, is that there are a lot of just inherently perfect moves that you can make to go from one chord to the next in this particular progression. So here we have our major 3rd that we use to get to our 6th chord. Now when we're on our 6th chord, we have a minor chord. So we want to find that minor 3rd, which coincidentally is actually an A, So now that we found that, maybe we say, okay, well, we can play that note, but maybe we want to kind of bounce back down to our root to reestablish the progression when we return to the 1. So that's kind of an interesting move that you can make. The next thing you want to do is integrate the 5th of the chord. So we can play our root. The 5th of the chord is going to be this E. Again, leads really, really well into that F sharp. It's a whole step away. It's kind of the perfect way to get there. Sounds great. And then if I want to find the 5th of that, it's going to be this C sharp here. Maybe I'll land on my A there. Again, though, we want to say, oh, there are a lot of ways we can play some of these notes if we go up or if we go down on the fretboard. So maybe, knowing that our fifth is the C sharp, maybe we decide to play it lower. So we can go like this. I can play the C sharp here and kind of go back down to the 1. So again, it's all about figuring out what our chord tones are, the different places we can play those chord tones, and then figuring out how they make sense musically. You know, sometimes it makes sense to go up to a C sharp. Sometimes it makes sense to go down to a C sharp. It's all about how we want to craft the relationship between these notes. And that's really how you start to improvise bass lines. You say, okay, I know here's my point A, there's my point B, and I can figure out how to get there by integrating all this other knowledge I have and get really creative with it. You can also say, oh, well, I can pull the whole triad in. It sounds pretty good. We could even go down to the F sharp. Sounds pretty good, just playing the triad. You can also reverse the notes in the triad and do all kinds of fun things. And then one of my favorite things that I have to point out with moving from the 1 to the 6th is we have a perfectly built-in leading tone with the scale degree 7. You know, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is going to be our G sharp. And let's say we're going from our A down to the F sharp. We can just walk down the scale just like that in true doo-wop fashion, and it sounds awesome. You can even walk back up to the A the same way. Cool. You could even go chromatically, throw another note in there. I certainly have heard that move on a lot of rock records, particularly from the 80s. But all that said, this is just a really great way for you to integrate chord tones, passing tones, chromatic notes, scalar motion into improvising a bass line. So for more examples and to download the ebook for free, just head over to my website, ryanmedora.com. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out all the other videos in this particular series. It'll help you learn a whole lot about improvising bass lines. And have a great day. Keep it groovy. Happy practicing.